Boom. Welcome to Grown Dad Business. Guys, we're doing it. Grown Dad Business is here. And it's a little bit different right now. We're at episode 196. You can check out our last episode, 195, with Suzanne Lawrence and her husband, Aaron Crothers, which is going to be my guest in a minute this week. Because right now, it's a little crazy. And I apologize for all my podcast listeners. I know I've gotten a couple messages about is everything okay with the podcast? Are you guys doing it every week? I'm trying to do it every week. It's just now I'm the master of social media content. I'm live streaming shows. If you've seen one of those, I'm doing my daily dads Monday through Friday weekdays, 12 p.m. Also, Friday nights, my Friday Night Live happy hour, which has been pretty good. Last week, I had comedians Jessica Michelle Singleton, Gina Brione, and magician Lee Terbosic. And you can watch those live Friday nights at 8 o'clock or rewatch them on Patreon. So that's pretty rad. And so, I hate to be doing business and trying to, I was literally making fun of social media content, and now I am slathered in social media content, and I want to vomit all over the place. So, but before I bring Suzanne Lawrence's husband on, I just want to give a quick shout out to very important right now. One of my sponsors and support partners is Ink Division, ink-division.com. I just want to say thanks to those guys. They print all my shirts. They are locally owned here in Pittsburgh, located in Braddock, PA, but they ship and service nationwide. And right now, they're offering something to artists, entertainers, creative people, bands. They're offering 15% off any bulk orders from Ink Division. So check them out at Ink Division or ink-division.com. 15% off bulk orders, which is pretty amazing. I've been buying shirts from them for years. I've never had a problem, never had a complaint. The sizes are perfect. I prefer the next level shirts, but I'm just giving them a hard shout out because they've been amazing. They're also setting up free web stores for artists as well. So think about that. You can set it up, put a couple shirts in your store, and they'll take care of everything online, which is real dope. And I just want to thank I have not been able to give shout outs to my Patreon supporters. And I want to give a huge shout out to my friends, Aaron and Suzanne, because they are Patreon supporters and because they are awesome and they know comedy is hard and I love them. So, and they may be able to hear me. But anyway, but there's also quite a few people that have supported on Patreon who want to maybe remain anonymous, and that's pretty rad, and I appreciate that. But listen, if you like my comedy, if you like hearing me talk at odd ends, odd ends at all end odds, I don't know. Ask Aaron what I'm trying to say. Patreon, I'm putting so much more on there now. Now we have video for the podcast. I am recording video right now with a new app called Be Live. If you check out BeLive.tv, it's an amazing new program. I'll post links for it as well, so you can go check that out. If you want to stream your own shows, if you're a comedian, a creative, an artist, or whatever, it's an amazing dummy version of basically broadcasting your own show. But yeah, patreon.com/Aaron Kleiber. There is going to be video on there for the podcast. There's video for stand-up. Also, my Friday Night Live happy hour will live on patreon.com/Aaron Kleiber. So you're able to watch the replays of the interviews and the funny comment games we're playing with people. It's good times. So yeah, go check that out. And also, huge shout out to my dude, Kid Mental, who would normally, I feel like would be my roots in the studio audience with me and in the studio with Kid. But he's now engineering the podcast at home and laying down beats. But you can check his Patreon out too, patreon.com/Kid Mental. He makes custom beats for people. custom theme songs. So go check him out. It's kidmental.com, and you can follow him at kidmentalmusic. Huge shout out. Fly Dope and Wavy is the official theme song of the Friday Night Live Happy Hour, one of my favorite songs of all time, and how I discovered Jerome. But hey, I'm sorry that this is like I'm not as funny in the intro. This is like the Joe Rogan intro where I read 409 minutes of ads. I'm kidding. Guys, I wish I had 500 minutes of ads. But I just have Ink Division. Remember, ink-division.com, patreon.com/Aaron Kleiber, and patreon.com/kidmental. All right. I'm going to bring in my friend, Suzanne Lawrence's husband, a.k.a. Aaron Crothers. What did you say?
How'd you get this number? Prank caller. I gotta take my glasses off, man. Look at that. Look,
I didn't hear you. You feel like you're so delayed.
Can you hear me?
That's all right.
We good?
Yeah, you're great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see the contents of my computer screen and my glasses? I really got a spring for the anti-glare stuff next time. These are coming off.
Yeah, I know if you're watching video. That's a weird thing. It was funny, dude. So now that everybody's like Zooming, and because you got to do this for work, right? Like you're always doing video now, right?
Like nonstop.
Isn't it funny too that when you work from home before, it's 1,000 emails. Now everyone wants to see your damn face. It's like there's no way that people did this many Zoom meetings before in their life.
So I know the joke is, like this meeting could have been an email, but like that's every day now. Every day. Yeah. This meeting could have been an email, but you're lonely and you need to see another person.
So, so people are putting together like, team meetings for no reason.
We have,
is it a lot of Michael Scott meetings? Everybody in the conference room now.
We have an end of day check-in team meeting that really is not business at all, but it's more like
end of day check-in.
How's everybody doing? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
We talked about grocery delivery today, but that was honestly, those are fun because I like my team. They're great. It's the other meetings. It's the meetings with people that I don't like work with constantly that are like that. I'm like this could have been a 3-sentence email, but it is a 40-minute meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was wanted to nerd out with you because I feel like there are moments in my life where I learned, how to be a filmmaker in high school and college, and I learned how to edit, and I learned, how to fix my own cars, and I feel like it's one of those moments in my life where I just learned every kind of streaming software. Mm-hmm. I have a ring light in front of me, which is, Aaron, I never thought would happen. I never thought that I would have that, and a microphone and I'm talking into a laptop, learning how to edit, learning how to stream video. I learned so much shit streaming live on YouTube, on Facebook. What do you want to know? I'm so teched out right now. I'm done.
I've been doing the same thing. Like for work, we've been doing in order to make myself seem useful. I was like, we can do all these trainings that we used to do over the phone with people. I can do videos of them, and I have the equipment to make sound and make it awesome, and it'll be cool, and and we can do these professionally. And I found a program called Camtasia, which sounds like I'm doing web porn, but I'm not. And it's really cool, and it's kind of one of those like you were talking about this program being live streaming for dummies. This is kind of like web tutorials for dummies,
right?
But it's because it's easy to put things together in it, especially when you can make things like in Adobe Premiere and or have use
Ugh.
Ableton to record your sound and mix your sound and stuff like that. It's easy to it makes the end process when you've got all of the hard stuff you did.
Yeah.
When you put it together, it makes that easy and presentable. So I learned that in a couple of days with a couple of coworkers of mine, and we've been putting together videos. And I've got so many more skills now than I have.
It's not even that I have more skills. It's that like I know how to even remotely work 5 new things. Like it's just like this right now. I don't even know how I got something on the screen. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure it out. But every week I get better, doing things like this live streaming stuff. But
you're spending your experience points well.
I know, right? I wanted to ask you too, dude. I don't know. This is the most I've been home. I know when Suzanne does a lot of comedy, you probably look, you and I are similar where if you give me an evening from 9 to midnight, I'll find something to do. Trust me. And it'll usually deal either with laser guns or video games or comic books or something dorky or,
everything you just named is like within reaching distance.
Yeah, I'm sitting behind 3 cartoon Kurt Russells, so I know.
Yeah, I could do something with this back wall. I've got shit. Come on, I can't. I've got an origami butterfly mobile that I've been making with Molly behind me. But I got to do something else better now.
Yeah, so one of the things that Wendy and I, my wife, have been doing is what's that?
You get one every time we talk, and you do the my wife. That's your one.
Okay. We were like, what do you want to watch? Like, we watched everything. We watched this is like day 42 of quarantine, I think, like 43 for us. And we've binged Tiger King. We binged the Kingdom. We binged Mrs. Maisel. Oh my God, like everything, dude. And now, what's that?
We have not watched Mrs. Maisel.
I think Suzanne would really like the first season. It is very similar to Stand Up Today. Like a woman starting in clubs and things like that. I was like, this is how it still is. This is how people giving each other a hard time and the management.
Doesn't that in the early 60s?
Yeah, actually, the first season takes place in 1959. But it's written, it's their room of writers is a bunch of stand-up comics. It's a couple of stand-up comics from New York.
I love her. So,
who?
Alex Borstein.
Oh, dude, you haven't watched the show?
No.
Oh, dude, she won an Emmy, I think, already.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think she won an Emmy for at least the first or second season. One of them, maybe, or nominated has to be. She's funny as shit on there. God, is she funny? There's episodes where she carries it. Yeah, I won't give any spoilers, but yeah, I out of all the stand-up stuff that I've watched, I'm Dying Up Here on Showtime, really great, really, really good people in it, like, comedian friends are in it. But it seems like it's almost like a dream version of the 1970s Comedy Store. Does that make sense? Have you ever seen that?
I have not. I don't have Showtime, so I haven't watched it. But like, I know that I watched like scenes from it because I was interested in that. I know that John Daly's in that, right? And,
yeah, Andrew Santino is one of the main characters. He's a really funny comic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that seemed like it was a little more, almost like a soap version or something. It was weird. But Maisel, it's just some of the things they say, and do, you're like, oh yeah, this is still getting in a comedy club for your first time. Like, this is exactly how it is. And just people just like not caring what you do. And like, in the family, like, you doing what, your little skits. Yeah, it's, I'm sure you see that on the holidays with Suze. Then again, you're a couple that at one time moved from West Virginia to Los Angeles, so I'm sure that you had quite a few holiday conversations about that. The podcast listeners are not seeing you grab your face and engorge your eyes. I know. People are like, so when you move to LA, do you know Ryan Seacrest? Like,
have you met any famous people?
yes. Can I tell you? Okay, now I know we're making fun of lay people. Okay, we're making fun of what some people would say pedestrians, people that have not worked in entertainment. I apologize. Okay, but one of the best moments. I have 196 episodes of a podcast, and I had a podcast before that went 300. So I have no idea if I told stories twice. Lay off me. I'm starving. So listen. I don't know if I told you the story. One of the best stories of like fish out of water movie set people I've ever met is when I worked. I brought this up more than once this week, so I feel douchey. So when I worked on the movie Warrior, I was around the ring, but they had like 300 extras always behind, mixed up playing the crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one time there was these two ladies who were about 4 rows back, and they dressed them as like these. I don't know what to tell you. There's these two black women that were dressed in like they were we were in Atlantic City. So it was like their night out in Atlantic City. They had like big glasses on and like sequins hats. Like, they were dressed like this, like for the movie,
Mm-hmm.
But they were just like, they were just like, we signed up to be extras. We don't even know what this is. This is amazing. They're giving us lunch, right? And they're just talking the whole time. And it was like, if they had a podcast, I would listen to 100 episodes, okay? They're just like loving life, right? But this naivety of entertainment is what makes it so damn funny, right? Like, they don't know, you know what I mean? They're just having fun, making 150 a day, eating sushi for lunch. So this line, so the lady turns to her friend. They're like best friends. I want them to have a damn sitcom. She goes, you know what I just thought of? This is a big movie. This is a really big movie. The director, he directed big things. Do you know what that means? If this is a big movie and this is going to be in theaters, Oprah might see this movie. Oprah might see us in this movie, girl. And the other girl goes, do you think Oprah watched this movie? And then she goes, Oprah probably watches all the movies. She needs to stay informed. And then she goes, and then the friend goes, if Oprah watches this movie, then President Obama is going to watch this movie. So they were going to get discovered by Oprah and President Obama, newly elected President Obama, in the movie directed by Gavin O'Connor called Warrior, starring Tom Hardy. That is one of my favorite pedestrian conversations, and I wish I could find them today and talk about they're probably professional extras now. They've probably been in extras in like 20 movies now, and they're pros. Oh.
Starring Tom Hardy, Joel Edgerton, Nick Nolte, Jennifer Morrison. I IMDb'd you.
Yeah. I got a couple new things on there, by the way. Oh boy.
Ooh.
But hey, anybody want to look it up? Easter eggs, whatever. I don't know. Audio Easter eggs, guys.
Mm-hmm. Hey, take it easy.
In the last couple months, I took a couple pictures of script readings and sitting in a trailer, so you can just go look it up and find out what they were. Or I'll tell you later.
Oh, look at you, Agent Saunders.
Oh, that's number one right now, baby. I'll talk about when I don't, you know what I mean. Everything's moved, and so but it's already filmed. I filmed that in December. So anyway, what was I trying to tell you before? Oh, we were talking about those stand-up shows.
For the Luddites that don't understand the Hollywood experience.
Yeah, it's talking about like Mrs. Maisel and things like that. There's things that are show busy that are pretty accurate in the first season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't pretend to have had some sort of like illustrious career. Like I got to Hollywood
But people,
And
you get it. Like you know, you've been around enough.
Yeah, no, I worked in television the whole time that I was there, doing like production stuff mostly. A lot of like some featured extra stuff. You can like I played a lot of prisoners, a lot of orange jumpsuits, big dude with tattoos, and I kind of had shaggy like longer hair at that point, and like you know. The podcast listeners aren't going to be able to like, actually all the pictures that you've ever used of me for any of your promos for the podcast are usually me making that face, but like my resting face is this.
Oh yeah.
This is just lost in thought.
Yeah, no, that's the that your look is called tough teddy bear in a band. That's what that is.
It's pretty descriptive of
tough
my
teddy bear in a band. You're the guy in the band poster that tries to look tough, the big guy that tries to look tough, and they're like, he's the nicest one. They're like, he's the most fun. He's the most fun in that band. He's a sweetheart. He's not going to drug me. He would give me a ride home.
But it is like there's like every cliche about out there about just the film and television industry in general is just 100% true.
Oh, it's all true. Oh my god,
true. It's all true.
When
like what? Like there's no like all the exact like I've had a producer. I've had a producer of like third-rate game show TV, like handed him his lunch, like look at it and go, "It's cold," and like throw it, like
nice,
like day 2, like.
I am. Wait, what year did you move back?
We moved to Pittsburgh like right at the end of 2000, like December 2009.
Oh, okay. Oh, literally the month I started stand-up.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
December 2009, we moved to Dormont.
Oh, yeah. When I before I did stand-up, I went out for about 4 or 5 years just for filmmaking stuff that I was doing with our friend Chris Prexta. And I do remember the first 2 or 3 times I went out. And, you hook up with people that you go have lunch, you go have coffee and try to, connect with people that moved away or, that you went to school with. And it was so funny. The handful of people, they were like, hey, let's connect, and blah, blah, blah. Or the people that I would meet, it was like, I'm not kidding. It was like half of Entourage was true. It was like when they were like I would meet somebody within 20 seconds, they would start talking about a famous person or the project they're working on. And I was like, people really do this. You really do this all the time. Like, this is how it is.
Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you. What can you do for me?
Yeah, I know. But, part of it's who you know, and you get that. Everyone understands that. And it's so funny because then it's like once you start going out and then you find yourself having a conversation, you're like, well, I'm here just working on. You're like, what? I'm doing it.
I looked around and I don't hold it against anybody out there. I don't hold it against. I have some friends that have become successful.
Yeah.
Mostly in the theater world, and they behave a little differently. Yeah. But I have some friends that have become successful, that are still my friends, and they're still like super duper solid dudes. And good for them for being able to play the game. But I looked around and just kind of went, nah.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is not what I wanted to. It's out of my system. Right. It was out of my system.
Yeah. I just had this. I want to tell people to go listen to this. I just had this long conversation with my friend Jessica Michelle Singleton. She was just on my happy hour show.
No, I was there.
Oh, cool.
I won the T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did write your name down actually. I was like, I think I have to send him a T-shirt. That's right. Wait, what was your caption?
Oh, for the world's worst magician.
Yeah,
It was just the phrase, "Is this your card?" Like 40
I
times.
laughed so hard at that. Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card? That's pretty funny. That was pretty funny. No, I wanted to say I did Jessica Michelle Singleton's podcast that's out now. It's called Ignorance is #blessed. Ignorance is blessed. And we talked for like an hour and 40 minutes, like all about comedy business and moving to LA. And so I don't want to reiterate that because I want people to go listen. I kind of told my story of us wanting to maybe move to LA and that whole journey, and it's a mess. So yeah, you can find it anywhere you can find podcasts. Ignorance is #blessed.
Once again, we have not hardly talked about anything that we planned on talking about.
No, never.
Again,
I don't even. And this makes it hard because I'm like, what do I call this episode? I have no idea. Oh, let me just go back to what I was gonna say, which was so we posted. We ended up like just having nothing to watch. So I'm like, why don't we just start watching comedies? Like, what do you want to watch? So we ended up like railing through a handful of Will Ferrell movies. I think we watched Talladega Nights. We watched The Other Guys. We watched.
Which is a really. The Other Guys is maybe one of my favorites of his.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's so not funny. Necessarily one that people jump to, but it is just.
Mark Wahlberg is also hilarious in that.
Dude. Oddly enough, he's great.
Dude, it's Wendy did not see that, and she was like, this is really funny. And you know what else too that I realized? It was not dirty at all. It was PG-13.
Oh yeah, it's also the movie that introduced me to Brett Gelman, whom I love.
Yeah,
that guy so much.
Also, that was kind of the return of Michael Keaton. That was kind of one of his little returns of him climbing back into movies.
Like when he started being around again.
Yeah.
And now he's fucking where,
Birdman, dude. Birdman.
Problems with Birdman. Birdman is like a top 5 for me.
Incredible. Oh, matter of fact, I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, I think I might. I don't usually. I'm doing the same thing. Like I have been ingesting mostly lighter fare comedy.
Yeah, us too.
Heavy stuff. I watch documentaries, and stuff like that. But I've mostly been ingesting comedy. I've been watching a lot of like comedy series that I haven't found. But like,
what comedy series are you watching?
I'd stray off the path to watch Birdman again a couple of times. As far as comedy series go, I went through The Office again because I hadn't watched it
that months ago.
I hadn't watched it all the way through since it was on, and I just kind of wanted to see, does it hold up? And I would say honestly, about 89-90% of it holds up. It really does.
We did not watch it. We probably talked about this in the podcast like 2 months ago. We did not watch it since it aired.
Yeah, me neither.
Because everybody we know is like, I watch it on repeat when I'm sleeping. I'm like, what?
Yeah, some people do that. It's like that for some people. I have shows like that. I I watch like I'll put an episode if I just need noise. I'll put like Star Trek on because
I've never done that with TV. It's always music.
Well, I mean, I like to. I don't like music as background noise. I like music when I want to listen to music. But I understand it. But it fills the same purpose. I understand what you mean.
Yeah. We went through. So you went through The Office,
and I got caught up on What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, because
that's so funny.
Because of two things. Number one, like I love Taika Waititi a lot. Like,
he's
and I've loved
incredible.
him since like Eagle versus Shark, like early days stuff for him. Like I loved his movies before I really even knew who he was.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and then of course I love the Flight of the Conchords stuff, and he was he just involved and with with Jermaine Clement and stuff. So I just like all of those dudes. But I've been I got caught up on What We Do in the Shadows mainly because Matt Berry, Matt Berry, Matt Berry. IT Crowd, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, Mighty Boosh, like
Mighty Boosh. Listen, if Mighty Boosh, what is that? 15 years old, easily. If you have not watched a Mighty Boosh, I cannot explain what it is. I just know because when you said it, I was like, I remember this insanity.
It's insane.
Don't tell anybody. I think it's spelled what? Boushh.
Boosh. Mighty Boosh.
That's right. Boosh. Mighty Boosh.
And do me a favor. Start at the beginning.
Yes.
And go all the way through. It's a British show. There's 4 seasons, so that means there's only like 6 episodes a season. So it's really manageable. They're all half an hour. Start at the beginning and go all the way through. There is a progression.
Yes.
Through the show of the
I remember the progression is what makes it funnier and funnier.
It's insane. I
gotta watch it again.
It's guys like Matt Berry, Noel Fielding, Richard Iwadi, Rich Fulcher, which people will recognize from like Drunk History. He's the only American on it, and he's all over Drunk History these days.
Oh yeah.
Like lots of British comedians that are pretty rad, and but Matt Berry, like I've been with Matt Berry for a really long time, and he just keeps getting funnier and funnier. And
there is that crew of, I can't name them. I'm not good at this anymore. You still got it. You can name. There's that. Rebel Wilson. All those people that came after Ricky Gervais, all those young, funny people. Because honestly, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, they really exploded BBC comedy again. Like it was that they created the new boom. Because there really wasn't a lot of British comedy since, gosh, I mean,
there was really good stuff. It just wasn't making its way over here.
Yeah.
That stuff really wasn't making its way over here because I think that the original Office and like Garth Marenghi's Dark Place were kind of happening at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Around the same time, I think. I could be off on that. But I think what it is it made it obvious that the American audience was ready for the American audience was ready for that type of humor. Even though I can't really say that like the American Office and the British Office are completely different.
Yeah, but we could do a whole episode on that. We probably should actually.
But the British Office was still very popular in America, and they started to show it. It started to get things like the Mighty Boosh and Dark Place and stuff like that.
That's how I found all that stuff.
Started creeping in on things like Adult Swim. Like you'd see them, like Adult Swim would start to play it. You'd see them on, or you'd see it late night on Comedy Central and stuff.
Right.
And it was like it's like how you got Monty Python back in the day. You had to watch PBS at like 11:30. Right. After Neil Lair went off the air, you Monty Python at midnight, and it was just crazy,
So speaking of, that's interesting because the other thing we watched is kind of like that comedy crew of America. We watched, we probably watched 7 or 8 Ben Stiller movies.
If you think about Ben Stiller, like the way he started was absurd. Like really, like the Ben Stiller show back in the day. Like
you watch all those movies.
It's insane.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. And then we watch all these Ben Stiller movies, and my wife, she doesn't like pay attention sometimes, like, because I'm the movie nerd, and she's like, oh wait, they started here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all these people were babies on the Ben Stiller show. Janine Garofalo, Jack Black.
I think Colbert.
No, Colbert. I don't
Who-
think so.
Who was I
Colbert
got
came from Second City and went on the Daily Show. I'm pretty sure.
he was on Colbert was on the Dana Carvey show too.
Oh yeah. Well, that was those were different camps for sure. But Ben Stiller was always like the MTV of like kind of like the goofballs. You would have Andy Dick and like my wife had no idea that like, that he did like Cable Guy and he wrote and directed Tropic Thunder. Some of them are so damn funny. Like he's unbelievable.
Oh, okay, so David Cross and Bob Odenkirk were on the Stiller show, and then they went on and got Mr. Show, and that's where like Sarah Silverman and Jack Black, and like that's where those guys kind of started off.
It's that LA kind of groundlings people,
like an early Apatow.
Yeah,
Judd Apatow.
Well, Apatow was still at Saturday Night Live at that point. And then I think once he met those guys when he started casting Freaks and Geeks, maybe. I don't know. I'm doing a podcast that has no facts whatsoever. I can go get
was on the Ben Stiller show. Like he was a cast member on the Ben Stiller show.
That's crazy. I guess you're right. No, Judd was the late 80s because he was there when like Judd Apatow was a writer when like David Spade and Dana Carvey were on.
Mm-hmm.
So Judd Apatow was around in the early late 80s.
So Steve Carell and Colbert and Smigel and those guys were on the Dana Carvey show.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Now we have more stuff to binge. I'm gonna find that stuff now.
There's only a handful of episodes of the Dana Carvey show, but I swear to you, it is one of the funniest things that was on television in the 90s.
He has a couple good characters too that he never did on Saturday Night Live too.
And they did this one thing. It was right around the time that like the Beatles anthology was a big deal, right? And they did this thing. They were like interviewing the remaining Beatles, and Smigel plays Ringo, Dana plays Paul, and Colbert plays George, and they're telling stories, and it is like piss your pants funny.
I have to look that up.
Like, no, we're getting back to what we talked about, nerding out, but like the listening audience, please grab a pen, paper, rewind this, write all this down.
I know.
I can give you one thing. It is I am not the I'm not the funniest person on this podcast. I'm not the funniest person in my house right now. I'm a professional appreciator. And if I can give you the thing is I can give you where to go in the history.
You're a connoisseur.
Yeah. I'm a
movies and meats and cheeses.
Meats and cheeses. Various meats and cheeses. And like go back and watch all of these things, because let's be honest, what the fuck else are you gonna do right now? Like,
I would say so. Let me do this. Here's the ultimate playlist for these guys. First, I would watch the Ben Stiller show. Okay, then binge Mr. Show.
Oh, hands down. I think it's free on Prime right now.
Yeah, binge Mr. Show. Then you'll get through it. It's worth it. Then watch Run, Ronnie, Run. And then, oh, come on. No, I'm sorry.
Run.
David Cross takes off. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's insane. Run, Ronnie, Run is insane.
One of the funniest physical comedy things I've ever seen, and I mocked, is when he would go, oh, wait, and he would run. Oh, my, I would laugh so hard. He would run the wrong direction. It's so funny. And then just go watch the Ben Stiller movies in order. Actually, you can throw Cable Guy somewhere right after, you could probably watch Cable Guy right after Run, Ronnie, Run. And then you could even go off on a little tangent and watch Wet Hot American Summer. And then you start getting into a whole nother.
We haven't even talked about The State.
I know, right?
God.
For another episode, we're just nerding out on comedy and binging things, and
if anybody out there is a State fan, go to David Wayne's Instagram or Twitter or whatever.
Yes.
They just celebrated the 25th anniversary of Porcupine Racetrack by reading the whole thing via Zoom, and oh my God, it's unbelievable.
I tried to watch it twice, and the second time I was like, I can't. It's so funny.
I was watching in bed the other night when we were trying to go to sleep, so I had my AirPods in, and I had my phone over here lying on my side, and I swear to God, and this is going to be another visual thing for people watching and not for listening, but it was just like, I know that the bed, Suze was over on the other side of the bed just feeling this.
Yeah.
Because my fat ass was just laughing silently and shaking the entire bed.
Yeah, Wendy will wake up where I'm like this. I'm gonna get close to the mic. I'm just like, I know. And she's like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, a meme on Reddit. It's 1:30. Go back to bed.
You turn over and you go, it's Porcupine Racetrack. They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I know, right? Porcupine Racetrack. Hey, dude, thanks for hanging out, man.
Well, let's do it again tomorrow.
I'm ready to go to bed. Hey, whatever version of Grown Dad Business this is, it's just hanging out, talking. At this point, this podcast might become the official Dads After Dark podcast, where we just nerd out and talk about stuff that nobody else in our house will talk to us about at this point. I have to. I made a joke. A while back. Like, I tried this joke about Tinder, and I was like, "Can we just have a Tinder for dads who are just looking for buddies to go eat wings and talk about Star Wars with?" Where I'm like, "What's this guy into?" Oh, see, I would probably, if I was on the dad Tinder, which is not dirty, okay, people, but like, I might swipe left with you because you're hard Star Trek.
You know what though? Like,
I would have been like, eh. I know.
Well, you know what? I would have seen the words Joe Rogan, and I would have been like, no.
Every friendship has to have a thorn, and it's just because if it's too perfect, it could never work. Okay, That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks so much, man. I'll talk to you soon. I know.
Bring me my t-shirt. You better shoot that goddamn thing through my front window.
All right, brother.
See you, dude. Stay safe, everybody.
Guys, that's my friend Aaron Crothers. I just thank you again for listening. You guys are awesome. I hope this is fun. I hope that our dad banter is fun to you. If you're having fun with comedy, like I said, please, again, consider supporting monthly on Patreon. You get all kinds of special perks, including the video stream for the podcast. Also, you get video for the Friday Night Live happy hours. You get exclusive beats by Kid Mental. And I just want to say once again, thanks to Ink Division, ink-division.com, and kidmental.com for the beats. And hey, be kind, be funny. You guys are awesome.